Welcome to my vlog. I'm Chin Chin, your Pinay nurse in the UK. So at the moment I'm off. Yesterday I didn't went to work because my fiance is not feeling well, and I'm quite worried about him because he was taken to A&E the other night, and I'm constantly monitoring his blood pressure. So far he's okay today. He went to work. I'm off today, and I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? Went downstairs in one of our local stores to get a few things, and I'm like, what should I do now? And I'm thinking, why should why can I not vlog my today's cooking? Just a disclaimer, I'm not a professional chef. I was like craving for carbonara, but this carbonara is actually a Filipino version. It's creamier than the Italian legit ones. Um, we put mushrooms in it. I just need to check whether it's mushroom actually. But yeah, why don't you join me today to cook my Filipino carbonara? Just a disclaimer, I will not put any ingredients, but if you like, because to be honest with you, this is my own version, and I adjust the taste accordingly. Use ingredients according to my taste. I will try my very best to see and try and put on the ingredients, the ratio of it at some point. But for now, if you're interested, you can watch me cook carbonara. So let me show you the ingredients. By the way, I'm on my own here in my flat. As you can see the weather outside, it's too gloomy. I don't know. I'm like, the lockdown and the gloominess of the weather. What more can you ask for? Anyway, as I've said, I'm not a professional cook. I will not show you fancy bowls of ingredients. I will show you the rough and rugged way. Haha. Anyhow, I will show you the world. First is pasta, spaghetti pasta. Doesn't matter if it's cheap, expensive, mid. Pasta. Pasta is pasta. But of course, if you want a quality one, you know what to get. I got oil. I got bacon. I got a pack of bacon. I usually go through this pack of bacon for at least a half kilogram of my pasta. I know, tell me about it. I'm not eating healthy. And I've got two 300ml double cream that I got from downstairs. I've got a seasoning, Maggi. I actually got this. Where did I get this one? I got this from Tesco's, if I'm not mistaken, or Sainsbury's, or any of your Asian stores or Chinese stores or Asian stores. You can get a Maggi. This is basically a seasoning liquid. I like the taste of it when it's mixed with the carbonara. I'll show you how I'm going to use it later on. What is that? And then I have pepper and salt. And that's it. Very simple ingredients. So, let's go. Oh, I haven't mentioned the garlic. Yes, you also need at least half bulb, or depends whether you like garlic so much. And when I went downstairs, I just found out there's no garlic at all. So I bought these very lazy ones. That will do. I usually use about 1 to 2 tablespoons of this one, or depends on how much I am cooking at the moment. So it's kind of easy, really. So let me show you what I'm gonna do. So first, I'm gonna boil the pasta. I usually get a casserole and put at least 2 or 3/4 cup of, or at least 3/4 of quarts water in the casserole. I'm telling you now, I'm not professional, so I'm just going according to what I've been doing the last few years. So there's no trick or special fussy things I'm doing, really, to be honest. So this much, you can see, yeah, more than half of it. And I usually get my pasta, boil the water first, sorry. And while that's boiling, so let me tell you a story today, because of course I work in the NHS. I work as a nurse. And a few days ago, of course, I work in a COVID ward. And it's just makes you realize a lot of things. I know it's not connected to my cooking, but it's that life. You can never tell when is it gonna be your last day. I mean, it puts me in a different perspective. My perspective of life. Because before I was like taking I just work and I don't look at simple things and, you know, small details. Because I'm quite too much, how do you call it? I am too absorbed with work and plans in the future and so on and so forth. And I see a few people dying because of this COVID. And I realized, you know what? Young and old, actually. You know what? You just have to sometimes enjoy every day and then live as if it was your last. I know it's a cliche, but just live every day thanking whoever you're believing in, thanking your family, your friends, telling the people that you love them. Because, you know, tomorrow is never guaranteed. If you're struck with this disease, doesn't matter if you're young and old, if your body doesn't respond well to it, you know, it's gonna F you up. So I was like, you know what? Let me change my thinking. I always look at the future, I always plan, I always want everything's in order, I always think about other people. Which is it's not a bad thing, but sometimes you also have to look at yourself and take care of yourself and take care of other people, because in that way, if you take care of yourself, your presence is what people needs the most, isn't it? And anyhow, it looks like my water is boiling somehow. So I usually grab about like this much. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this. I usually just grab at least half kilogram, I would say, and then that's it. So as I was saying, you know, in this kind of crisis, I think it makes you realize a lot of things. But hopefully we're using this lockdown as means and ways to reconnect again with our family and friends. Sometimes we're too absorbed with work, with career and all that, but to be honest with you, it's all gonna be wasted if you're not here anymore, isn't it? Right. Well, while that's boiling, I'm gonna cut the bacon into smaller pieces. You know what? I'm not a fan of using chalkboards, but it should be the case. You should be using that as much as possible. So you can see now. Oh my gosh. I am cutting my into smaller pieces. I think my water is boiling now. Okay, which is good. Right. All of it, I'm gonna cut it into smaller pieces, just so. I will show you anyhow because my camera is quite far. You know, my pan is blocking the way, and my phone is actually plugged in. Sorry, I'm using my phone to show you how it looks like. There's my thing. There's what it looks like. So you're gonna cut it like this small. I would say an inch big. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna heat the pan. I'm multitasking in here, guys. So I'm gonna heat the pan. I'll show you now. So I'm heating the pan now. That's my other bowl that's cooking. I'm heating the pan. I'm gonna put a tiny drop of oil. I don't want it to put too much oil because at the end of the day, sorry, cleaning at the end of the day. So I don't want to put too much oil in it because you know that bacon will dry up. It's gonna render and it's gonna take out the fat in it. So it's like cooking in its own fat. So I'm done with that. Okay. And so you can see. There you go. That's it. So I'm cooking the bacon now. Okay. Just trying to separate each pieces. You know, bacon here is like thin layer, and sometimes it's like stuck on top of the other. So, oh my god, guys, if you can smell the bacon, I love it. I love cooking bacon and rendering the fat. It's not so good. This actually is a cured bacon it's got salt in it. So just be careful with your seasoning and your salt. So I usually don't put a lot of salt unless it's necessary. Okay. There you go. It's starting to render now. Just leave it for a few minutes. I usually just stir it a little bit so it's not burnt on the other side. So as I was saying, guys, I work in the COVID ward, so you know, I know the government is saying, oh, we're gonna, it's very safe, unsafe, and it's too early to to stop the quarantine or the lockdown. But me as a medical professional, or I mean, in the NHS, I think it's too early because the number of people who are dying in the hospital and those who are dying in nursing homes or in such a setting, we're still not there. It's still up. It's still high. I believe as soon as we don't have like anyone dying from it, then we should stop the lockdown. I know it's quite difficult because it's the economy, isn't it? But we have to give importance to people's lives, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, without people, there's no economy. We are too worried about businesses, that's true. But say for example, those who are working for those businesses, what if they get sick? Who's gonna work for it? For that company, isn't it? And it's better to be safe that way than opening all the borders and ending the lockdown, and then there's another surge of people getting sick. We don't want to put all these efforts in vain because we've come so far. If you can see the numbers, we're getting there. It's slowing down a little bit. You can see the rate and the trend of the mortality. When I say mortality, it's the number of deaths. But I hope people will just stick to it for now and follow the rules and abide to that rules. It's for you guys. It's for us. It's not for someone else, isn't it? You can see now that the bacon is starting to starting to give off juice. You can see this is the fat. So later on, it's gonna turn into oil. Okay, so it's like cooking in its own fat. Also, the water is boiling now. I'm only guesstimating, guys, like at least half kilogram of pasta. That is enough. So just put that in there. Drop it like that. I don't usually cut it into two or break it into two. I just drop it like that in the water. And you know what, guys? I know it's a wrong thing to do because some people said that if you put oil in the water, the sauce will not stick to the pasta. But me, I just like doing it because I'm not used to it, and it prevents the pasta from sticking to each other. Just a tad bit. I don't put too much oil in there. Yeah. So I'm watching this YouTuber. Her name is Christelle Jenkins, and I love watching her. She's also a Filipina who's married to a British guy named Edward. They're a lovely family, so please watch them. Look for them on YouTube. They're my inspiration for my vlogging. Okay, I came here in the UK 5 years ago, and I'm still here working as a nurse. Working as a nurse, I met my fiance. Yeah, I'm very lucky because he's a very caring and very, I don't know. For me, we're a perfect match, I would say. Anyhow, there would be more stories on that at some point. Maybe a question and answer portion or vlog or a mukbang. You know, I haven't decided yet what I want to do with my vlog, to be honest, but I just want to make it quite educational or fun or, you know, inspirational. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I just want to talk, to be honest. So what do you think of this COVID, guys? Do you think it's man-made, or do you think it's actually an accident? Like just, a transmission from an animal to humans. At the end of the day, it costs a lot to every country, lives, resources, livelihood, and I am not really happy about what had happened. I mean, it's an accident, who knows? There's a lot of theory that it's man-made, it's a biological warfare, but only him knows. So hopefully, the people, or not the people, or I don't know. I just don't want to put blame on anyone, to be honest. This is not the right time to be putting fingers. But hopefully in the future, we will be able to understand the nature of this disease, or this virus, and how it started actually. So we can prevent these kind of horrible diseases coming up. Okay, so as you can see, guys, it is quite cooked now. You know what I do? I usually leave it like that. I separate half of it in a bowl. Yeah. Like so. I put it on high fire, guys, just to cook it thoroughly. Pork. Right. What I usually do, guys, is I will leave some of it in there and leave it to until it's so crispy. Okay, because I use it for toppings. Okay. And see, the other one is also boiling on the other pan, or in the other bowl in there. Just keeping an eye on it and make sure that it's not overcooked, just al dente, like how I want it. So you can see it's already crispy. Yeah, there you go. Now I usually put back the other one and remove the crispy one, just so I can use it for my presentation. Adds a bit of like porky taste on as well. Oh. There you go. Now I love garlic, so I put at least 1 to 2 spoonfuls. But make sure you mix it quickly, otherwise it's gonna burn. So I just mix it quickly like that, and wait for the citric acid to evaporate before adding other ingredients. So that's also cooking now. If you can only smell the aroma of this one, it's really nice. So it's very simple. If you have a unprepared or unsliced garlic, I would suggest half bulb of it, because it gives good flavor to your pasta. Okay. All right, I can smell the aroma now. It's not, because this prepared one has citric acid on. Just to add to my ingredients, I also add a little bit of milk. Just a tad bit, because sometimes the double cream is too thick. Now, after this is sauteed and mixed well with the pork or with the bacon, I'm gonna add my cream. Yeah, that goes in there. The other one goes in as well. There you go. I love cooking this, guys, because it's so simple. You don't have to think too much about it. Just get double cream, basic garlic, bacon. You have it at home most of the time. There you go. This one goes back to my fridge. Okay, so just stir it slowly. You can see what I'm doing. Because later on, this one's gonna thicken. So I usually use um, milk, just a normal full fat or whatever kind of milk you have, evaporated milk. If you don't have a fresh milk, that will do as well. So I'm just mixing it to incorporate the flavor in the cream. Don't forget also your pasta. Keep an eye on it. Make sure you're not overcooking it because you don't like a very mushy kind of pasta. So it's very simple. Add the bacon, add the garlic, add the cream, and then while you're doing that, you can also add pepper. I love black pepper, so I put at least half a tablespoon or a quarter. It depends on what your taste though. But I usually just use a quarter, and then that's it. And for the salt, I taste it first to be honest. Because the bacon itself is already cured, so it has salt in it. I don't want it too salty, but I don't want it too bland at the same time. So while my pasta is cooking, it looks good. Still a little bit hard, so I'll give it a few minutes. I usually stir it constantly so as not to, you know, leave the pasta sticking to each other. Okay. If you have parsley, you can also put parsley in it, but I stick to my way of cooking. Good. That's lovely. Okay. It's getting thicker now. So once the cream is a little bit thick, the consistency you can see there, it's a little bit thick now. Don't leave it too long on high heat because if it's so thick, it's gonna be, how do you call it? It's gonna be too much. I don't know what too much I'm talking about. I just don't like it when it's too thick. So you're gonna add a few drops of Maggi seasoning just to give that distinct taste to your carbonara. I love it. I love the taste of it. I think it's a combination of soy sauce. What can I say? Yeah, it's vegetable, protein, salt, and yeast extract, sugar, those kind of things. Protein, vegetable, celery, salt, flavoring. I'll give you the stuff I've got in my kitchen. What are the common condiments that I have in my kitchen? Being a British and a Filipino home, I make sure that I've got all the condiments that we need. I'll show you on my next video what I've got and what I use it for. Yeah? Let's taste once again. That's much better. So just continue stirring. Put a little bit of salt, just to add a little bit of flavor. Okay, that's done. You're gonna love it, guys. I'm quite sure you're gonna love it. It's simple. Your kids will love it if you have kids. Sorry, I constantly wipe the table and that I'm like that. Kind of OCD. So it's weird, isn't it? So that one is boiling now. I'm gonna turn it off and wait for the pasta to cook. So I usually just set the Maggi aside just in case. It's getting thick now, guys, and I don't want it to be really thick. So I'm just gonna add a little bit, tad bit of milk just to loosen up the sauce. Don't want it too thick. Let's have a look at our pasta now. I've drained the pasta now. So I'm just gonna mix the pasta into my sauce. Just so. Okay. There you go. Nice and creamy pasta. So I'm just gonna turn on the heating for a minute. I'm not sure if I put too much sauce in it, but I prefer it that way because sometimes when it's too dry, you don't like it when your pasta's too dry, isn't it? With sauce. So just mix it a little bit. Just to incorporate the pasta. I think I put too much pasta. I think it's too much sauce in it, but don't worry. You know, you can still, the sauce will still thicken up, and it's gonna cook in with the pasta. Oh my god, I think I put too much sauce in the pasta. You know, it doesn't matter, because later on we can still put more pasta in it. Usually just chop this whole. I didn't realize I didn't put that much pasta, but it looks like it's thickened enough. It's starting to thicken up. It's thickening up. Starting to thicken up. So in a minute, I'm gonna plate this, guys, because I'm still trying to incorporate the pasta with the sauce. Okay, fine. So I've got my pasta in here now, guys. There you go. I put the ham on, the bacon, the crispy bacon on top. I'm just gonna put a little bit of pecorino cheese. It's like, or Parmesan cheese, like so. If you can see. Oh God, it smells lovely. And I usually just get parsley. There you go. Just for nice aesthetics. There you go. Is it too bright? Oh, come on, focus now. There you go. That's your creamy bacon carbonara. Right, 4 ingredients. I don't have, guys. That is my carbonara. Thank you, and I'll see you soon next time. If you have any questions, and suggestions, please don't hesitate to put a comment on the comment section below. And I'll see you next time. Love